Yeah. Why do we call it Indian knowledge? Why do we call it Bharatiya Jnana Paddhati? Because of the Bharatiya Jnana system. Because Bharatiya is the word Bharat and Bharatiya is the language. That is Bharatiya. So when we say Bharatiya knowledge system, it was a different way. When we say Indian knowledge system, what is Indian knowledge system and how is it different from European knowledge system? Bharatiya knowledge system, Bharatiya Jnana Paddhati. When we say Bharati, because we try to understand what is Bharati, what is Bharat. Bharat cannot be understood to India. In Bharatiya Jnana Paddhati or Karnataka as a dristy, a particular way of doing things, dristy. Because Bharat itself is an evolution of they ask the question. But the meaning of the word understanding. Bharat cannot be understood through understanding things. India is a political state. And political state has no other European definition of economic capitalist. There is land defining territory. There are people living on that land, on the territory. There is a government that administers that territory of the people, and that government is sovereign. These four attributes are needed for a state, for a state. Bharat has it been difficult? Yes. Today, if you come to India, then it is. What is it of Bharat? Bharat has to go for several thousands of years. Bharat has to go for several thousands of years. At no point of time there was one ruler who ruled the whole Bharat. There was no one government of the whole Bharat. And yet Bharat was Bharat. This Bharat, with people of different languages, speaking different languages, having different eating habits, wearing different costumes, dress, inhabiting different parts of it, yet they remain as one thing. At the society level, at the people-to-people level, a person from Kashmir had no problem in coming to Rameshwaram or Kanchipuram or Dwarka or Badri or Puri, Ujjaini, Kashi, numerous, hundreds of people. These hundreds of people from each state was located in an area of a different king. Each state was located in a different kingdom. And yet, each of these states belonged to the whole Bharat. Any Bharatiya from any part of Bharat had a right to go, visit, and do the worship and puja, tirtha. In fact, it was mandated that in a lifetime, every Bharatiya must do certain tirtha. So, all these different things, different kingdoms, and yet it was one. How? So, Unless we understand Bharat, it will be difficult to understand even the Bharatiya Jnana Paddhati or knowledge system. Because you need that drishti. The drishti that developed during the Vedic period. Our rishis of the Vedas, when they talked about, when they revealed the knowledge, their entire creation is one family. Every element of creation, whether humans, plants, animals, even rocks and rivers, every element has the presence of the same divine. These are various manifestations of the same divine, so we are all members of the same family. Everyone is related with everyone else. Everyone is related with everyone else organically, not theoretically. Organic. Now, this Krishna, this darshan, I won't call it philosophy because philosophy has a limitation. Philosophy is guided by reason, logic. In our Jnana Paddhati, reason is not sovereign. Reason is important, buddhi is important, but it is not sovereign, it is not final. There are things beyond buddhi. That is why even our Shastra says, Maisa Karakena Makiramaniya, you can't get the truth by logic and argument. So it requires a different drishti. The drishti that has given rise to this. And I would urge all those who are dealing with this so-called ideas, please call it BKS, Bharatiya Knowledge System, because that will be the right description of it, not ideas. Now, we have a big challenge because we are living in an interconnected world. For long we have been colonized, our mind has been trained largely to think in the Western European model of thinking, European knowledge system. And in this world, such interconnected world, with so much of dominance of the European knowledge system, when we are trying to rejuvenate our Bharatiya knowledge system, we need to be very strong in our foundation. We have people who are observing the parampara. They have been keeping the parampara for thousands and thousands of years, and we must be highly grateful to them for keeping it. But that's not enough. Parampara gives a drishti. The students are studying in Gurukula. They don't just learn by logic, they also learn by observing the Guru, by observing certain disciplines, and that which is inculcated in sanskara. Through sanskara they acquire the knowledge. In the Western system of knowledge, it is transactional. Teacher is paid, and so he passes on some information and some so-called knowledge. It is a transaction. In Bharatiya Jnana Paddhati, it is not. Knowledge is never ever transaction. We have to have a solid foundation. And we have to create a glossary of words which are very essential about an equivalent to which there is no other word in any language in the world. And certainly not in any European language, not in English. You have equivalent in some of the Bharatiya language, but not in any foreign language. For example, what is Rashtra? We say Bharat is not a political state. It is more than that. What is a Rashtra? Rashtra has to be defined. Rashtra is not a political state only. Political state is only a small part of it. Unless we understand Bharat, Rashtra, what is Rashtra, we will not be able to argue and convince and tell the other convincingly. Because they have to understand. We can't blame them also. Because they have a certain way of, they have been groomed and trained in a particular way of learning. So when we are going to tell them it has to be intelligible, it has to be something which they are able to understand. So we have to define these terms. Rashtra. What is Rashtra? What is Drishti? What is Darshan? Darshan is not philosophy. Because even when we say Western knowledge is essentially physical, bhautik jnana. Bhautik jnana is acquired through jnanendriya. We have 5 jnanendriya. Sight, sound, smell, sensation and taste. Based on. In Bharat, we have something called Shukshmendriya. Shukshmate. These are, sensibilities, supra-sensibilities. What Rishyavendra calls it, supra-sensibilities. It is there in our system. We have to color those words, create the glossary of those words, explain those words as best as we can. Because in our Jnana Paddhati, as I said, knowledge is not just acquired through reason, through logic, but through anubhuti. There are things which are experienced. Anubhuti. How do you explain it? You have to have appropriate terms, language, definition. We need to create the glossary of words which are fundamental. We talk about Bharatiya paradigm. What is Bharatiya paradigm? The core is Drishti. And what is Drishti? If we have to understand all these, we have to define it very, very clearly. In a contemporary language, Yug Anukul Bhasha, today people should be able to understand. And once, because Bharatiya Drishti, the system of knowledge is called, in European, in English, it is called epistemology. In the Western or European epistemology, it understands something by breaking it into pieces. You give something, it will try to break it into pieces and try to understand each piece. Like our modern medicine, human body is understood as what? Somebody is understanding teeth, only knows teeth. Somebody's eyes, only knows eyes. Somebody knows bones, only bones. It is true that our body is a combination of all these, but it is much more than that. Holistic. Our epistemology is holistically, we don't break it into parts. Breaking into parts is also has its own merit. It's not that it is without merit. But if you break it into parts without understanding, keeping in mind the whole, you will lose direction. And it is this, looking at this Drishti, to look at the thing in totality, that has answer to all the problems of the world today. Whether it's a problem of environment, because in our knowledge system, Bharatiya knowledge system, a plant is not separate, plant is a life giver. Not only that, at that level it is connected, the same Brahma is permeating that, but also that plant is life giver. Water is life giver. Every element of creation is organically connected, interconnected with all. In the European knowledge system, a society is a product of a contract. They say individuals are sovereign. That is how fundamental right comes. And even in our constitution, we have fundamental right for the individual, but there is no fundamental right for the collective, for the society. Because again, it is rooted in European system. Our system, individual is not separate from society. Society is not a product of a contract. Society and individual, Vyakti, Parivar and Samaj, they are integrally, organically, inseparably linked. and one cannot exist without the other. See, one cannot exist without the other, there is no question of one being superior and sovereign. No. So in our, that is how Rashtra is built. Society. Integrally connected, organically connected. There can be an administration system, there can be many administration systems. There can be many estates. Today we have 28 estates, we can have 40 estates. How does it matter? These are administrative arrangement for better governance. At the society level, Bharat as a Rashtra is looked at in totality. So, we have, in our knowledge system, we don't break things into parts and try to understand the whole by looking into parts. No. We look into parts, but by looking into parts, we look into the whole also. Even today, scientists are looking at, many of you who are studying science, students of science, you know that every atom is a micro solar system. There is something nucleus, there are electrons, protons revolving around it like a solar system. Micro is a small, mini, micro manifestation of the macro. Individual is a manifestation of the Supreme Divine. This is Drishti. So when we are developing the Bharatiya knowledge system, we must make ourselves capable to develop that drishti by which we should be able to explain and take forward the knowledge towards understanding the world. The world is facing lots of problems today. Existential problems, wars happening, poverty. Look at in this world, there are some countries where food is wasted in surplus. But there are people, large number of people who are going hungry without food. Is it sustainable? This is the product, this system is a product of European knowledge system. If you look at the Bharatiya knowledge system, we all look at Vasudev Kutumbakam, they are all part of a family. So, that is what we did during COVID. When COVID happened, what we did was our Bharatiya drishti. That no, our scientists have found vaccines. When the developed countries, advanced countries found the vaccine, they started making money. Raise the prices. When our scientists got the vaccine, we shared the vaccine with the needy people in over 150 countries of the world. This is Bharatiya drishti. So Bharatiya, for developing the Bharatiya knowledge system, we have to first stress and devise ways by which we strengthen Bharatiya drishti. No, drishti, what is that? And that drishti, once we understand it, things becomes easier. I am sure there are scholars, there are knowledgeable people, and that is where I said it has to be ownership, has to come from outside the government. Because government, the institutions of government doesn't have the capability. They will work in a very mechanical way. They will work in a very, very mechanical way. They will finally move from here and there. So many conferences have been held, so many reports have been generated, files have been coming, but there is no knowledge. Now, that is why I urge that institutions like Vivekananda College and others, those who are in it, they should be able to take up the responsibility and create the fundamentals. First, strengthen the fundamentals of Bharatiya. There is no point in talking about that we were great. We have talked it endlessly. There is no point. We must understand how they were great. What was the reason behind greatness? What was the knowledge system that made them great? I am sure the project is on. We'll be able to achieve it. It's a very sacred project. And I can assure you one thing, this Bharatiya knowledge system, developing the Bharatiya knowledge system, rejuvenating it, is not only for Bharat, it is for the welfare of the whole world. The future of the world lies only when Bharatiya knowledge system is developed, is rejuvenated. Because then and then alone we can have a harmonious world. Then and then alone we can have a peaceful and prosperous and happy world. Friends, I'm glad you gave me the opportunity. Thank you very much for it. I'm happy to be with you. I wish many more conferences, many more involvement, many more deliberations on this, so that in coming years we should be able to have a robust base for Bharatiya knowledge system, which not only helps us in understanding the knowledge of the past, but also makes us capable to look constructively into the future, a safer and a brighter future, not only for Bharat, but for the whole world. Thank you very much for the patient listening. Thank you, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir, for the thought-provoking valedictory address. Now, I invite dynamic, simple, humble and honest principal of Vivekananda College, Dr. P. Venkateshan, to propose the vote of thanks.
So first of all, I submit my pronouns at the feet of our founder Swamiji, Swami Siddhavananda. The most respected Vice President of our Ramakrishna Davavanam, Swami Niyamananda, the most respected Secretary Swamiji of Vivekananda College, Swami Vedananda, and dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. So good evening. So as we conclude this event, it is my honor to extend a heartful vote of thanks to everyone who contributed to making this conference on Indian knowledge system